I have a I have a mortal's voice. Every time, let me have the rest. I bring the brimming bowl to my lips and drink. The end. Oh my God, Madeline Miller and Circe, every freaking time.
Those fingers in my hair, that's like a mirror stare that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft.
Hello, my wonderful friends. Magus here. Oh, I am beyond moved again by this book. I've read it so many times. We're finishing up for book club the last 3 chapters. 25, 26, 27. And every time, I can't tell you, I don't know how many times I've read this, a lot. Every time I get to the end, I'm just a mess. It is so beautiful. I got my hot cocoa here and my marshmallows. Just settle in for a minute and let's talk about this amazing book. Chapter 25. So much there. Oh my God. So she summons Helios, and her dad comes, and she basically says, I'm done being exiled to this island. You need to go talk to Zeus, right? And he's all, it's impossible. This is your lot for eternity, right? How many times have you heard that, right? There is no other way. Circe, and kind of the theme of this book is make your own way. You know, you don't have to play their game by their rules, right? And she's just gotten too wise, too smart, right? And so she basically just lays down the law. Here's what's going to happen. And it does, right? But he, you know, her dad says, and of course this is fiction. You guys know how much I love Helios and the sun god, you know, and stuff. And so again, I always feel right saying this. Madeline Miller took a lot of liberties here with the mythology, and I wish she would have painted Helios better, like he is. But for the story, you know, it works for the story where she's going with this, and I get it. But her dad tells her that she was the worst of his children. Think about that for a minute. She's actually, and you know this, the greatest of his children, the most powerful, the wisest, the one that makes a way out of no way every single time. The only one that went down and got the ancient god's tail, right? Had the power to take on Zeus herself if she wanted to. She didn't want to. Right? She's the best. And I wanted to bring that out because maybe there's one of you watching this that maybe you were told because you just didn't go along that you were difficult and therefore they told you you were the worst. But I want you to think of it. Maybe you were the best. And I think that's what hits me every time when I read this, especially chapter 25. You know, they tell you in their educational systems, repeat back to me what I tell you, and you're a good boy, you're a good girl, right? You get a big A on your paper. If you don't, you get an F and you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl. And you guys, I've been on this earth a while now. I'm getting older. My beard's getting grayer. And I've seen the things that they told me I was a good boy if I repeated back to them aren't even true now. It wasn't even real. But you just go along with what they tell you. Were you a good soldier? Right? Then you're patriotic. You're godly. You're good. You went in and you killed and you laid down your life for their cause, which you get a gray beard, you find out it wasn't even a good cause. You sent your children for cannon fodder. Do they want good, smart, thinking, wise, powerful, or do they want obedient and compliant? Wow. That's the first page of chapter 25. This is something that hit me, I highlighted. She says, with every step, I felt lighter. An emotion was swelling in my throat. It took me a moment to recognize what it was. I had been old and stern for so long, carved with regrets and years like a monolith. Get this, here's what I wanted you to see. But that was only a shape I had been poured into. I did not have to keep it. Have you been poured into a shape, an ideology, a religion, a government, whatever that doesn't fit you? You don't have to stay in the confines of their shape. Break free. Okay, so that part was Scylla. And I love this. As soon as Circe gets her freedom, the first thing she wants to go do, not a selfish thing, right? Go to the pyramids of Egypt or this or that. She wants to right some wrongs, and she goes to stop Scylla's killing of sailors. And oh my gosh, were you holding your breath the entire time? Madeline Miller painted that so beautifully. I mean, I was just like, just gripped the whole time as I read that. I was there. Beautiful, beautiful writing. And just all of chapter 25 was just, again, it's just beautiful writing where your imagination takes over, and you're just there. And now something's starting to happen. Obviously, we've seen this coming between Telecammus and Circe, and they go off to this island on this beach. They catch some fish. They're having a fire, and they're starting to share their hearts. Chapter 26. Let's have a little fun with this, because this is so serious. But here's what I pictured. I'm a little jealous right now. You guys know I am the one that wants to run around on Circe's island naked with Circe, the goddess, and live on Aya, with the lions and the wolves and the sand and the sea and the sun. But it's Telecammus, right? And here's what I pictured. What's up, guys? Magus here. I had to come on and explain this part of the video so you understand the next part of the video. But this video got blocked. It got taken down because of copyrighted material. So here I had inserted Chris Isaak's Wicked Game video where he's running along the beach with that beautiful model splashing in the waves. And I was trying to show like Circe's Island, the romance, but it got blocked. It got taken down, copyrighted. But you'll understand the rest of the video now. But just use your imagination. Picture that scene. So beautiful. And I'm feeling jealous, right? Feeling a little left out. I'm feeling like maybe this is what I've gotten instead.
What a wicked game to play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say. You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do to make me dream of you. I fall in love.
Try to get that visual out of your head. But I know I've got a magic in me, just like Circe. I will make a better way. I'll make a better world for myself. So Circe and Telecammus, they're having just a beautiful time. They're going almost, it reminds me of like a Caribbean cruise for romance. They're just going to different islands and they're fishing, and they're going to these little villages, and Telecommus is using his carpentry skills, and Cersei's using her herbs and healing ligaments, and they're just what an adventure, But then they start feeling, all right, it's time to go back to their own little island, to go home, and Cersei just paints it so beautiful about when she gets home, and just walking through her big oak doors and the smell of home, right? And her lions. And I love that Penelope she settled right in as the Witch of Aya, or Iaya, or however you want to say it. Anyways, beautiful. You can't say it wrong. It just feels right on the tongue. But she's just settled in. Cersei could smell the spells in the air, could see her fingers just tainted green from all of her spell work and herbs and gardening. And it just made my heart smile. I love that so much. Oh, let's just read some beautiful writing. She says, we wound past the glossy laurels, the rhododendrons, through my garden and the great oak doors. I breathed my house air thick with a clean smell of herbs. I felt that pleasure the bards sing of so often, homecoming, right? The adventure is great. You'll always have those memories. Oh, but there's nothing like home, is there, guys? So beautiful. She says she walked barefoot through the island, the earth warm beneath my feet, the flowers tossed their bright heads, a lion followed at my heels. Just, so beautiful. And now we get to chapter 27. It's short, but so sweet. She takes those flowers that she had used to change Celia into the monster, Glaukos into the god, right? And she's going to transform herself, what is truly in, and she's wondering, what will happen? Will I turn into a monster also? What will I be? But she's got that foresight also. She gets those visions. And she shares this vision as she's scrying into her copper bowl. And she kind of reveals to us, the reader, a beautiful future. And oh, does it touch your heart. And this is the part that we end with that gets me every time, but I read it over and over and over so I wouldn't be a big blubbering baby as I read it to you guys. And so I hope I get through it. Nope, feeling it already. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? Am I even a man? Oh, he sits with me in the green smelling darkness, holding my hand. Our faces are both lined now, marked with our years. Cersei, he says, it'll be all right. It's not the saying of an oracle or a prophet. They are words you might speak to a child. I have heard them say them to our daughters when he rocked them back to sleep from a nightmare, when he dressed their small cuts, soothed whatever stung. His skin is familiar as my own beneath my fingers. I listen to his breath warm upon the night air, and somehow I am comforted. He does not mean that it does not hurt. He does not mean that we are not frightened, only that we are here. And this is what it means to swim the tide, to walk the earth and feel it touch your feet. This is what it means to be alive. Overhead the constellations dip and wheel. My divinity shines in me like the last rays of the sun before they drown in the sea. I thought once that gods are the opposite of death, but I see now they are more dead than anything, for they are unchanging and can hold nothing in their hands. All my life I have been moving forward, and now I am here. I have a mortal's voice. Every time, let me have the rest. I bring the brimming bowl to my lips and drink. The end. Oh my God, Madeline Miller and Circe, every freaking time. And I read this about 3-4 times before I made the video to try to read it better, and it's still just every time. Something about this book, guys. Something about this book. And if you've made it this far into book club, into Circe, I think you get it also. There's just something that speaks to our humanity, to our desire. When we see an unjust world, a world that is ridiculous. The gods, the government, the education system, the entertainment. It's absurd. And we think of those words of that ancient God. If you don't like what you see, make a better one. And you know, it starts in your own head and then in your own home. And that's what I've tried to do on this channel. I started with myself right here. Found a better God, a better world, better ideas. And then I created that in my home for me and my children and my animals and my land. And then I try to share that with others. And I think that's what Circe represents to me. And I think that's why it hits me so hard. It's so beautiful because I see us making a better world. And it starts with us and our little community of little magicians. And I think one day we'll change this whole world to a place without the anger and the hate and the war and the fighting and the bickering and the useless suffering. We'll make something beautiful. We'll make our own little our own island, our own earth. It's good. What a beautiful book. Thank you guys that have made it through this with me. And I know there'll probably be more to come that'll maybe find this playlist of Circe, maybe make it to the end. Catherine, thank you. You have been the most consistent every chapter you've been there with me. Thank you for that. Matter of fact, you've been there for every book we've done so far in book club. I don't know what we could possibly do after this other than Asha again. Asha's the only book that, as you know, I mean, it's more than a book. It's everything to me. So maybe we'll do that again. I know we've done it for book club once, but I don't think we could do it too much. Maybe we'll do Asha again together. All right, guys. You know this. I love you.